Remember eating lunch in school cafeteria growing up? As a kid, you probably thought they were delicious. Chicken nuggets and pizza were probably your favorite. But as an adult, you probably feel different about school lunch. Food is slopped onto a tray, usually by older women in hairnets, with smirks on their faces. The food is barely edible. Images of mashed potatoes and meatloaf with gelatinous gravy come to mind. School lunches have changed dramatically over the past few years. The food offerings at schools these days are more delectable and enormous. The children who consume them are paying the price with obesity and poor health. Most people believe that children who eat lunch prepared at school have a higher chance of being obese than those that brown bag it from home. For that reason, there must be school lunch reform. Childhood obesity is a dangerous epidemic. Obesity in children is defined as a body mass index greater than 20. Body mass index is a calculation that uses weight and height to determine the amount of fat stored on the body. Obesity can cause a range of debilitating health problems. A child who is obese has a greater chance of being high blood pressure, elevated levels of lipids in the blood, and an increased potential for obesity-related diseases that include type 2 diabetes, asthma, hypertension, high cholesterol, liver and gallbladder disease, bone and joint problems, and sleep apnea. Diane Schanzenbach, a researcher in childhood obesity, states staggering statistics regarding childhood obesity. Schanzenbach did a study observing the obesity rates in children who consumed school lunch and children who brought their lunch from home. The result was that students who consumed school lunch were more likely to be obese. The data reflected that school lunch eating causes a 1% increase in BMI. This percent could mean the difference between overweight and obese. Schanzenbach was not the only person to find a link between children who consume school lunches and an increase in childhood obesity. The University of Michigan Health System in Ann Arbor also did a study regarding the link. They found that 39% of those who always or almost always had cafeteria meals were overweight or obese, compared with 24% of those bringing food from home. Another study conducted by a professor at Southern Methodist University suggests that children who participate in the National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs have a greater chance of being obese or overweight than their classmates who bring their lunches from home. The average school lunches pack a whopping 1,000 calories. Most of the offerings are deep fried and contain a high amount of saturated fat. These offerings include breaded chicken sandwiches, fried fish sandwiches, fried fish nuggets, french fries, and corn dogs. The caloric amount in school lunches is adequate for an active teenager, but for first graders, that is almost the entire allotment of calories for the day. If school lunches are responsible for worsening the health of youth, then there needs to be some type of reform. The first step in change is acknowledging that school lunches have a negative effect on the health of the students who consume them. Once schools make the link between the two, they can make reforms in the meals that they serve. And being aware of calorie counts will also help the obesity epidemic. Offering low-calorie food choices will encourage children to expand their flavor horizons. If you can expose them to healthier options, they will be more likely to choose different foods outside of school. Schools also need to start incorporating more fresh fruits and vegetables into their meals. Canned fruits and heavy syrup are much less expensive than fresh fruit, but fresh fruit and vegetables provide low-calorie, high-nutritious filling foods for children. Aside from lunches, schools must make a commitment to provide a healthier environment for children. Schools should remove soda machines from the campus and from the lunch line. They can also remove high-calorie drinks and snacks. Anything schools are willing to do to assist the changing the increased childhood obesity rates is a step forward. School lunch reform is the first step.